Welcome to the Tippah County Development Foundation Halftime Show, featuring the leaders of the North and South Tippah School Districts. Development Foundation Director Chris Llewellyn knows that moving forward together starts with our students and their school leaders. Find out how you can be a part of Tippah County moving forward together at tippahcounty.org.
Hey everybody, it's Melinda. Welcome to the Tippah County Development Foundation's halftime show where we're moving forward together. I hope you're enjoying the game so far. Today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me Miss Leigh Anne Sanderson, who is the Ripley Elementary principal. Leigh Anne, thanks so much for coming to the studio today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, this is your second year at Ripley Elementary?
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about your career, because you are not a Tippah County native, right?
I am not. I'm actually originally from West Tennessee. I started my career as a high school math teacher, taught in some schools up and down West Tennessee for about 7 or 8 years, and then we moved to Mississippi, Marshall County, where my husband is from, and have been taught in Potts Camp, did high school math there and show choir. For about 4 years, and then in 2004 became a principal at Mary Reed. So that's kind of where the administration started, was there.
Hey, I'm a math teacher myself, or a former math teacher. Now I'm a radio station owner, but I was a math teacher all my life.
So this could be my retirement plan?
Absolutely. You can take over for me in a few years.
Good to know. Good to know.
Absolutely. Okay, now, Ripley Elementary is a beast. It is big.
It is big. And I think for me, coming from a smaller school, especially administratively, that has been a little bit of an adjustment for me, and that's probably some of my challenges. Is just you end up with bigger things because of the enormity of the staff and the number of students, and so good things and the difficult things and the challenges are just more of, and so finding that balance and the time management has been a little bit of a challenge for me, but we're getting there.
Back when Assistant Superintendent Ruby Bennett was the principal there, I would always say she was the mayor of Ripley Elementary, because it's like a little small city.
It is.
You have like 90 adults and
that's correct.
500 or 600 kids.
We are sitting at 607, I think, today or this week.
Little children.
Small children, kindergarten through 4th grade.
Yes. Okay. All right. So tell me some of now, so you're a high school math teacher. And you've moved down to elementary principal, which I get that being a principal is, it's not just about the kids, it's about the kids and the adults and the physical buildings and all of the things. But how do you like that age as opposed to high school?
You know what? I love the age, and I've actually been an administrator K-12 before. And even though those had some great things and some positive experiences, no matter the age group, I absolutely love the K-4 setting. I find myself to be a small children person and love that they love school and they just want to please and want to have a good time. And so they're a lot of fun.
That is absolutely true. When in a K-4 setting, you have kids who are really excited, for the most part, to come to school, and they love their teachers.
They do.
And that's very special.
Correct. And you get to hear funny stories. You know, we get to hear all the things, parents. So we get to hear lots and lots of good things, and they're so sweet, and they want to learn, and they want to do well. And so it's fun to help provide that atmosphere for them.
Yeah, here's a caveat that we can tell parents who are listening right now. You should not believe everything your kid comes home and says, because we don't believe what they come to school and tell us about.
That's true. That is so true, because we hear some very funny things.
All right, tell me some of the accomplishments that Ripley Elementary is enjoying.
Well, right now, everybody talks about through the COVID years and all the things that were challenges then, but this past year with the state testing that we did in the spring, Ripley Elementary has the highest accountability score they've ever had. So we are very proud of that accomplishment. The teachers worked very hard last year to make sure they provided the right supports and the right environment in the classroom that led up to that, and we are super proud of that score.
Okay, I'm going to go off in the weeds because I used to do testing before I retired from the school system. And before COVID, we call that BC now.
Yeah.
Before COVID, the kindergarten came in with about a 490 overall reading level, which for you all out there in the world, it should be 530 or so, and they would come in around 490, which is a little bit below what it should be. Are you back to that? Have you come back to those levels?
I think we're close. I think we're getting there. We're getting there. I think we're getting close.
I would say that it had to have slipped as kids were not coming to school and not even getting to go to preschool over those COVID years.
Right.
It would be hard to keep those reading scores up there.
It is, and you've got these children who missed part of first grade and part of second grade where those the reading fundamentals happen. So you're still working through those challenges, but I think we have moved past those at this point because we were able to close that gap as the years after each year.
And other elementary principals that I've interviewed have talked about, and middle school also, about the psychological problems that, there were so many years that COVID affected the way that we do school. Older kids could just slip right back into what it used to be because they remembered that. Little children did not have any kind of thing to base on what was normal, what we
Right.
consider normal. Have you seen that kids are getting back to normal psychologically as well?
I was not a school administrator during that time frame, so to kind of know what happened like that following year, what that looked like, I don't really have any experience there. I feel like kids are resilient, and with most things, including this one, and I feel like I think they've adjusted fairly well.
Tell me the great things that you have planned for Ripley Elementary coming up.
Well, I can proudly announce that we have, from what I understand, the first PTO Ripley Elementary School has had, and that these ladies and gentlemen have worked very hard. So we're working on, providing support there and building this program up. Just like we talked about a minute ago, the sheer numbers that are there. Very excited about having extra help in this capacity, and so we're working on that. We are continuing to highlight, kind of like what you're doing here. We're highlighting our staff as well every week because we want the community to know who our people are and who our teachers are in the building and a little bit about them. So we're going to continue that.
Leigh Anne, tell everybody where they can find that. It's on Facebook, right?
It is. We renamed it recently, so I'm not sure I can remember, but it'll just look for Ripley Elementary School, and it's on Facebook. But every week, in fact, I'll post today, we try to highlight 2 to 3, and that way you can get to know our people in the building. And so that's one thing that we will continue that I think has been fun, and I think based on the reaction that we are getting online, that everybody has enjoyed hearing about our staff.
You guys are 100% iPad now, right?
Well, devices. Some of our kids are an iPad, some of them have Chromebooks. But yes, we are 1-to-1, and I think that's one thing I think the COVID years helped when the federal government sent lots of money down to try to create a best scenario for learning in the times that were difficult and the having to do some learning at home, that everybody needed a device. So that was one positive thing that came out of that time frame. And so everybody does have a device. But depending on the grade level, depends on what they have.
Okay, and the Chromebooks are mostly because testing, it lends itself toward that Chromebook, right?
Yeah, we do use Chromebooks for testing, but they use it for lots of other things. They do activities, they do learning, they read stories, they do all kinds of things on the devices.
How do you feel about that? You and I are about the same age, I would say. How do you feel about digital learning?
I feel like there should be a good balance. I think we need both. I mean, we cannot deny that we are in a world that is digital. And if we put the brakes on it, then we're hurting our kids because they're not going to be ready when they leave our building or when they leave school. And so we've got to provide that right support for that. At the same time, again, I'm a little bit old school. I think there still needs to be some writing physically and put some things on paper. I think kids learn well that way as well. And so I think there's a good balance, or can be.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Show your work was my mantra, man.
Yes, especially as a math teacher. You want to see.
I want to see how you got there. I can help you if I can see how you got there.
If I know you missed it in step 4, I can help you.
That's right. We're both old school.
Yes,
That's
we are.
Okay. That's okay. Tell me what the greatest challenge for you that you found being at Ripley Elementary? It's not all rosy. No job is all rosy. So tell me, what's the most challenging thing that you face?
I think changing districts for me was a challenge, had nothing to do with anything in particular here. I think just learning procedures and protocols and things like that, plus the numbers, was the challenge for me. But one thing I'm absolutely thankful for is, Mr. Elliott, the support he provides, our school board, they are fantastic. And I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this community. We see support continuously from the people in town or the people in the community and parents. And so we could not, especially with the numbers, we could not do what we do without that support.
Yeah, it does take a village over there.
It really does. For me, let me just say.
No, I think any good administrator knows that they have to bring in everybody. I got tickled at Lee Holt from Blue Mountain last week. The first thing he talked about was his janitors, because, man, if you have good custodians, you have it made.
That's exactly right. And we do, thankfully. But, for me as a challenge, I think still learning. 600 kids' names is a lot to learn. And so when you're not from here, you're still constantly learning who people are and learning the community and learning your parents and their backgrounds. And so that has been a challenge, but that's getting a little easier after a year.
Yeah, because everybody knows each other and
Right.
is kin to each other.
Yes.
But when you bring your fresh eyes into it and you can look at it from an objective point of view, I'm sure that's hard and helpful at the same time.
That's exactly right. Yeah, but it's been fun. I cannot stress enough how happy I am that this community supports the schools in the way they do.
So if you want to follow Ripley Elementary, you can jump on Facebook and follow all their announcements and their teacher
Highlights,
and just
we're on Twitter as well.
Check out what's going on. Can non-parents be on your PTO?
Oh, yes, absolutely. On the PTO?
Yes.
This is mostly just parents and teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody,
but they can follow them on Facebook just to kind of see what we're doing if they want to provide some support. They have that opportunity as well.
Crayons and notebooks and
All the things.
All right. Okay, Leigh Anne, thank you so much for coming in. It has been great to talk to you.
You as well.
Okay, everybody, this has been Leigh Anne Sanderson, who is the principal at Ripley Elementary in the South Tippah School District. And that's it for this edition of the Tippah County Development Foundation's halftime show, where we're moving forward together. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the game.
This halftime show has been brought to you by the Tippah County Development Foundation, moving Tippah County forward together. And now we take you back to the second half of tonight's game.